Hey everybody, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at the MBRP Armor Light Street Version Catback exhaust fitting 2024 and newer Mustang GT Fastbacks without the factory active exhaust. Now this system is going to be for the GT owner who wants good sound and tolerable volume for a really great price. This is a full catback that's really going to wake up your S650, but it won't cost you a bundle. Now on our loudness meter, this one will come in at a very reasonable 3 out of 5. So if you're looking for outright raucous loudness, this is not going to be your system. But this is still a noticeable improvement in volume and tone versus stock, but it's not going to get you angry letters from your homeowners association. Now, I make no secret of the fact that I like MBRP's exhaust, and I like them because they offer you some of the best sound for your money. Now, like I mentioned, this is a full catback setup, so it is going to replace your factory mufflers and resonators, leaving you with just these two small canister style mufflers at the back. Now this one is MBRP's street profile, so it is the quieter option in their lineup, but you still get quite a bit more sound and tone out of this, as you heard from the clips at the start of the video. It's definitely deeper, it's more guttural than the stock pipes, but it's not going to blow out your eardrums, so it's a great fit for a daily driver. Now, as always, more noise outside leads to more noise inside of the cabin, but again, this system really isn't obtrusive. You can still take your car on a long road trip with this installed. It's not going to grate on your nerves like some other options might. Drone is kept at bay here thanks to the included H-pipe. Now, H-pipes are really great for a couple of reasons. First, they allow exhaust gas pulses to cross over and come together, thus eliminating those dissonant frequencies that cause that drone. They also help increase exhaust flow and power, especially at lower RPMs, which for a high-strung engine like the Coyote is certainly a benefit because it needs a little bit of extra oomph down low. It's got plenty up top. And when it comes to the tips, this system comes with a classic set of slash-cut chrome tips. And while these might look pretty much the same as your stock ones at a distance or at a quick glance, get up close and you'll notice the MBRP logo etched into the edges, plus the increased size. Again, nothing too wild, but still a noticeable improvement, and it keeps with the overall theme of this system. Now these tips are made from T304 stainless steel, and they are a double wall design. Now the rest of the system is made from mandrel bent 3-inch aluminized steel. This material is best suited to a car that lives in a drier climate. So if you live, say, in the desert, or your car just doesn't see a lot of snow, rain, or moisture, this is going to serve you quite well. It's also the value proposition, as it's going to save you a considerable amount of money versus a 409 or 304 stainless setup. And while the sound is great, pricing accordingly is perhaps the best part, as this whole system is only going to run you about $675, which I know is not nothing, but that is about half the price of the least expensive T304 stainless catback available for these cars. It's a really killer price for a really killer sound, and it just further substantiates my claim that MBRP gives you the best sound for your dollar. Installation, like most other exhausts, is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. This is of course going to be a bolt-on job, and it doesn't require you to make any modifications to your vehicle. It'll utilize all your factory exhaust hanger locations, and it comes with all the clamps that you need, so this will bolt right on up. Exhaust of course can be a little bit finicky because space under your car is tight, especially if you're not working on a lift. But if you're not, even if you don't have a lift, this is definitely a job you can tackle at home. And now we're going to walk you through that entire process, so with that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, 3/8 extension, a 15 and 13 millimeter swivel socket, 8 millimeter Allen wrench, a pry bar, exhaust hanger tool, hammer, and also not shown be a lift and pole jack. All right, today we're going to be putting an exhaust on our Mustang. First, we're going to watch a quick video how to install a stock system, and then we'll come back here to install the new one.
So the first thing we're going to do is come to the double flange behind our cat. We have 4 15 millimeter bolts that we can loosen up with a 15 millimeter socket. Now we're going to leave this just like that for now as we work on the rest. One thing to keep in mind is when we go to pull this off, this little hook is keeping this on, so you're going to have to get a flathead screwdriver to pull back on that on both sides when we go to remove it. Next, we can come right behind our rear diff to this hanger. There's one on each side of this bracket. There's a 13 millimeter bolt holding it on. So I've got a 13 millimeter swivel socket on an extension to pop this off. And now we'll just come to the other side and do the same exact thing. And now with them both removed, you can push up to get those hangers off the hooks. And do that same thing on the other side. Now, last thing we need to do before we can remove this is remove these 2 bolts that were on the inside of those 2 hangers behind the rear diff. So I'm using that same 13mm socket with an extension. Now with those removed, we can push it up off the hook and pull that down to get the clearance we need. So now I've got myself a buddy to support the weight of the rear of the exhaust while I work on the front. We're gonna push this towards the rear to disconnect these 2 pipes, and then we can pull it forward to pull it out of the back hangers. So now with our exhaust removed, we can take an exhaust hanger remover tool to pop off these 2 hangers because we will have to reuse them for our new exhaust. Now, last thing we need to pop off is our 2 clamps that are at the front of the exhaust. You can take a rubber mallet and get the edge of a pry bar on the edge of the clamp to tap these off.
So we're gonna start off at the front here. We're gonna put our factory clamps back on. Just make sure you line up the notches with the clips there. I already have one here. This other one just slides right on like that. Then we can get our H-pipe in place. And you see I do have a pole jack just to help hold everything up. Just gonna get that back and slide that H-pipe into our front clamps. And we can go ahead and get our axle pipes on. So we have our axle pipe next. We already have our clamp on there. All of our clamps are the same size, 3-inch, so you don't need to mix them up. We're gonna put our factory hanger on our new exhaust. We can just slide that into our H-pipe and just hook your hanger up in place on the rear subframe. And you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and we'll get our bolts tightened for the back. All right, so we're gonna get our bolts threaded in. We got 2 on our hangers. Let's get them started. And we'll put our cover in place, hook that over, and thread in our 2 bolts. We can go ahead and grab our impact, extension, and 13mm swivel socket. And we'll tighten all of those down. So we're gonna go ahead and start tightening our front clamps first. So we can grab an impact and 15mm socket, tighten our factory clamp. Now we can tighten our 2 clamps at the back of our H-pipe. Same thing, impact and 15mm socket. And now we can get our muffler sections on. All right, now we're ready to get our muffler section in place. We already have our clamp on here. We're gonna get our muffler into our hanger first, and then slide it over our axle pipe. Get that seated all the way in. All right, so now we're gonna come back and grab our impact and 15mm socket and tighten our clamp. Once we have this side all tight, you can go ahead and do the same thing for the other muffler and clamp. Lastly, we have our tip. And we're just gonna slide that over. You'll see an Allen bolt right here. We're gonna slide that over. Just adjust it to where you would like. Grab your Allen wrench and tighten that down. Now, if you need to, you may need to go back and loosen and tighten any of the clamps and adjust the pipes just to get the tip centered. But we already did that. So we're just tightening this down. You can go ahead and do the same thing for the other tip. And that wraps up our install of our MBRP Armor Light Catback Exhaust Street version for a 2024 newer Mustang GT Fastback without active exhaust. And remember, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.